A Sabbath scene. John Greenleaf. Whittier. Scarce had the solemn Sabbath bell ceased quivering in the steeple, scarce had a parson to his desk walked stately through his people, when down the summer-shaded street a wasted female figure, with dusky brow and naked feet, came rushing wild and eager. She saw the white spire through the trees, she heard the sweet hymn swelling, O pitying Christ! O refuge give the poor one in thy dwelling. Like a scared fawn before the hounds, right up the aisle she glided, while close behind her, whip in hand, a lank-haired hunter strided. She raised a keen and bitter cry, to heaven and earth appealing. Were manhood's generous pulses dead? Had woman's heart no feeling? A score of stout hands rose between the hunter and the flying, age clenched his staff, and maiden eyes flashed tearful, yet defying. Ampersand quo! Who dares profane this house and day? Ampersand quo! Cried out the angry pastor. Ampersand quo! Why, bless your soul, the wench is a slave, and I'm her lord and master. Ampersand quo! I've law and gospel on my side, and who shall dare refuse me? Ampersand quo! Down came the parson, bowing low. Ampersand quo! My good sir, pray excuse me. Ampersand quo! Of course I know your right divine to own and work and whip her. Quick, deacon, throw the polyglot before the wench, and trip her. Ampersand quo! Plump dropped the holy tome, and o'er its sacred pages stumbling, bound hand and foot, a slave once more, the hapless wretch lay trembling. I saw the parson tie the knots, the while his flock addressing, the scriptural claims of slavery with text on text impressing. Ampersand quo! Although, ampersand quo! Said he, ampersand quo! On Sabbath day all secular occupations are deadly sins, we must fulfill our moral obligations, ampersand quo! And this commends itself as one to every conscience tender. As Paul sent back Onesimus, my Christian friends, we send her. Ampersand quo! Shriek rose on shriek, the Sabbath ere her wild cries tore asunder. I listened, with hushed breath, to hear God answering with his thunder. All still. The very altar's cloth had smothered down her shrieking, and, dumb, she turned from face to face, for human pity seeking. I saw her dragged along the aisle, her shackles harshly clanking. I heard the parson, over all, the Lord devoutly thanking. My brain took fire. Ampersand quo! Is this, ampersand quo? I cried, ampersand quo! The end of prayer and preaching? Then down with pulpit, down with priest, and give us nature's teaching. Ampersand quo! Foul shame and scorn be on ye all who turn the good to evil, and steal the Bible from the Lord, to give it to the devil. Ampersand quo! Than garbled text or parchment law I own a statute higher. And God is true, though every book and every man's a liar. Ampersand quo! Just then I felt the deacon's hand in wrath my coat tail seize on. I heard the priest cry, ampersand quo! Infidel! Ampersand quo! The lawyer mutter, ampersand quo! Treason! Ampersand quo! I started up, where now were church, slave, master, priest, and people? I only heard the supper bell, instead of clanging steeple. But, on the open window's sill, o'er which the white blooms drifted, the pages of a good old book the wind of summer lifted, and flower and vine, like angel wings around the Holy Mother, waved softly there, as if God's truth and mercy kissed each other. And freely from the cherry bough above the casement swinging, with golden bosom to the sun, the oriole was singing. As bird and flower made plain of old the lesson of the teacher, so now I heard the written word interpreted by nature. For to my ear methought the breeze bore freedom's blessed word on. Thus saith the Lord, break every yoke, undo the heavy burden,